Hello and welcome back to Navigating Entrepreneurship. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about working a 9 to 5 while running your business. It can be extremely challenging to work full-time while you're running a business. It can be extremely tedious, and it's something that I've been doing for the last 7 to 8 years. And so I'm just going to be talking about how you can actually be able to manage both effectively, some tips that I've been able to learn and gather along the way, but also talking about my journey and my experience along the way. So I know that there's a lot of negative stigma around working a 9 to 5, but I personally feel like for an entrepreneur, working a 9 to 5, at least to start off with, or getting some experience within a corporate organization or working for someone else, actually has a lot of advantages. So for starters, working a 9 to 5 actually helps you build discipline. If you think about working for yourself, oftentimes people think, yeah, I'm going to be my own boss, I'm going to do my own thing, but actually it does require a lot of discipline to be your own boss. If you think about, well, if I don't work, if I don't put in the work, well, then I'm not going to make any money. Or if you think about, like, you know, you have staff members and so they're relying on you for their livelihoods. So you need to make sure that you have that discipline to push through and to do what you need to do when you need to do it, even if you don't feel like doing it. And that's one of the advantages of working a 9 to 5. It helps you build that discipline. It also helps you when it comes to teamwork and working with other people, working with difficult people sometimes. It helps you with regards to even experience within the specific field that you want to go into. So before I launched my event planning business, I actually worked under top event planners in the industry in the UK and abroad to learn from them. So that helped me as well before venturing out on my own. So it's all well and good saying you know what to do, but actually learning from other people and gaining experience from people who are doing what you want to do can really help you on your entrepreneurial journey. So it helps you with regards to learning things to do and things not to do. So for example, working under a specific manager at one of my old jobs helped me realize that, well, I don't like this management style and this isn't how I would want to manage my own team. It also helps you build structure. So I spoke about discipline, but actually structuring how you manage your day, how you manage your time. Working a 9 to 5 can actually help you in that regard. Working a 9 to 5 also helps you see how large organizations structure their organizations, and it would also help you when it comes to starting your organization and putting the right systems and processes in place, even little things like human resources and how they operate when it comes to HR, when it comes to taking care of their staff, looking after their staff, investing into their staff, training their staff. There's so many things that you can learn and pick up from working a 9 to 5. So I wouldn't say you should neglect actually getting a 9 to 5, at least to start off with, or even if it's just a year's worth of experience. And in general, building a network of people, even just building your knowledge in so many areas in different spheres. You know, your business might be focused on a specific industry, but learning within a 9 to 5, you can learn other aspects of how to operate your business. So you can learn things with regards to technology. Your business might not be in the technology field, but using technology to help advance your business is something that would be helpful. Or in terms of operations or logistics, or even just communication or admin even. So I personally think that there are certain advantages to working a 9 to 5 before you launch your business, or while you're running your business, before you decide to go full-time self-employed. But I think also it's good to put out there that people work 9 to 5s while running businesses for so many different reasons. For some people, it's a way to fund their business, invest into their business, but also fund their lifestyle because their business hasn't gotten to the point where it can actually pay their bills. For some people, it's a way of getting experience, like I said before. But for some people, they actually genuinely enjoy their 9 to 5. You know, it's a career for them. It's something that they're passionate about, but they're also passionate about their business. So they do both. So I think there's so many different reasons why people work a 9 to 5 while running a business. And, you know, it's okay to do that. I think the main thing I would say is just to have to remember your vision and to remember why you're doing it. So if it is for a short period of time just to fund your business or fund your lifestyle, then make sure that you're working towards getting to the point where you don't have to rely on that for the funds. If it's a thing where you want to build this career in this industry, you love your full-time job, you want a career within this, but you also want to run your business, then remember that and continue to work on that career while you're working on the business, so that one thing isn't suffering. I think another thing to put out there is that it really does depend on what type of job you are working. When you're working a 9 to 5, some jobs are very flexible, so they afford you the opportunity to run your business while working full-time. There was a point in time where I was working within a specific organization, and because my business was very demanding, I requested to work compressed hours. So I was still full-time, but I worked 4 days a week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and so I had an extra day in the week just dedicated to working on my business. So some organizations are actually quite flexible in that regard. There was another organization I worked with at one point, and I changed my working hours to 8 to 4 Monday to Friday. So that meant that from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. I had enough time to work on my business. And then when my businesses got to a point where they were really demanding and I just could not manage both, I decided to become part-time. So I got a new job, which was a part-time job. So I work part-time, 9 to 5 for 3 days a week, and then I also work I work for my businesses 3 days a week as well. So I have Sunday off. Well, I try to take Sunday off because I really need to rest. But essentially, it's important to find what works for you, and it's okay for you to make the transition gradually. My aim is to be self-employed full-time, and I am working towards that. So I went from being full-time to part-time, and then I'm going to then work on my businesses full-time. So find what works for you. So with working a 9 to 5 and also running a business, it can actually be quite challenging. So how do you actually manage both effectively so that you know that your business is thriving and growing and you're also able to work on your job? I would say it's extremely key to manage your time effectively. I think it's very important for you to schedule everything. Schedule the time that you're going to be meeting with clients, schedule the time that you're going to be doing your admin, schedule the time that you're going to be working within the business, schedule it if it's on a week-to-week basis. Before the week starts, schedule how you're going to spend your week and prioritize. It's very important to prioritize the things that are important, the things that are not so important, the things that are quite urgent, and the things that can wait. To prioritize and schedule the things that you need to do. To-do lists are like my go-to for everything, and even ticking things off my to-do list really helped me. Makes me feel like, yes, I'm actually getting things done and getting things out of the way. I think one other thing I would say is to make the most of your spare time. And when I say make the most of your spare time, what do I mean? So for me, for example, when I first came out of uni and was working a full-time job, it was very demanding, and so I didn't have that much spare time. So what I would actually do is respond to inquiries and emails while I was on the train to and from my job. Obviously, sometimes when I'm underground, I don't have Wi-Fi. The emails actually won't deliver until I get out of the train station, but that's fine. Like actually responding to emails, doing my admin on the train to and from work, speaking to clients during my lunch break, just things like this, trying to work around my time. Another thing I would do is maximize the time that I had between when I got home and bed. I would normally get home really tired, and I would always be like, oh, I'm too tired to work on my business. But actually I had to say to myself and give myself a pep talk and say to myself, well, you work 8 hours a day or more on somebody else's dream, so why would you come back home and not even give your own dream an hour or two of your time? And so that's what I would do. I think it's important to balance things out though, so that it doesn't feel like all your day is spent on work. Every day, 6-7 days a week is all spent on work. No, I think it's important to have some sort of balance in place, but I do think actually dedicating some time after work to work on your business is also very important. So sometimes I would have client meetings after work, or I would have bookings or appointments after work, or I'll be working on my admin, or I'll be making wigs after work. It's just things like that to really help you maximize your time and work effectively. One key thing I would say as well is to ensure that you have put systems and processes in place, systemize how you operate your business. It really does help you one, to increase consistency, but also it helps you reduce time. Like it helps you maximize your time, so you're not wasting time on certain things because you know, okay, this and that has to be done. Putting systems in place also helps you to avoid not like unnecessary or time consuming tasks, because you can get rid of certain things and think, well, actually we don't need to do this. This is how we can do certain things. But I think even automating some things, so for example, there are certain apps out there that will actually help you to automate some things. So I think QuickBooks, for example, would help you when it comes to like sending invoices and chasing up unpaid invoices, things like that. So you don't actually have to waste or spend time doing these things. There are actually apps out there that can help you eradicate some of these time-consuming menial tasks that you don't really need to do. Even when it comes to like scheduling apps, for example, that's like my best friend. It's really helped me when it comes to my time. So instead of going back and forth with clients as to when can we book an appointment, you know, your calendar is there on the scheduling app. You know, all your details are there when it comes to prices and all of that stuff. It's all there on the scheduling app. It helps you eliminate, you know, such a time-consuming task of going back and forth to organize a date and put something in the diary. It's there automatically generated for you. Honestly, guys, technology is your friend. Another thing I would say is to actually lean on your support system. So who is in your tribe? Who are your supports? Who is in your support system? Actually lean on your people. For one, you know, entrepreneurship can be quite lonely, and working a full-time job and running a business can actually be very tiring, be very challenging, and you need people in your corner to cheer you on, to motivate you, to keep you going. But I think also having some people who might be going through similar things with you around you can actually help you. I found that really helped me, in the sense that it helped me when it came to speaking to them and bouncing ideas off of them. You know, they would tell me certain things that they've tried that have worked for them, and you know, I will try it. So you know, really genuinely speaking to people and you know, asking for help if you need to, even asking for help from friends and family if you need to. So for example, there were times where like my mom would help me with putting my packages together. Like I literally had like a system in place as to how I package my stuff and post them, and she would help me do that from time to time. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need to, but actually you can even hire help, hire assistance. If your business is at a point where it can afford to pay somebody to assist you, then I think that's also something that's important to do. Or if you know, you can pay them out of your salary, then you know, feel free to do that, but don't be afraid to ask to get help if you need to. Another thing I would have to do from time to time while I was working full time was actually sometimes I needed to use some of my annual leave days for my business. For example, as an event planner, if we had like a weekday event, I would have to take the day off my job so that I could run the event on, you know, during the week. Or if I had like a bridal booking for hair or makeup, I would probably like take the morning off. If it was a weekday wedding as well, I'll take the morning off so that I could, you know, get the bride ready, and then I'll come back to work in the afternoon. So I also had to be flexible in that regard and, you know, use some of my annual leave days. And I think it's important to let you know that, you know, it is a sacrifice that you're going to have to make. So it probably, you know, sometimes you might be sacrificing your annual leave days. You might be sacrificing watching TV so you can do some work on your business. It might be sacrificing going to 1 or 2 social events so that you can actually work on the business or work in the business, take on bookings instead of going out. So, you know, sometimes you will have to make some sacrifices, but I do think it's important for me to highlight that balance is key. And I say this because on a personal note, there was a point in time where all my life revolved around work. So I would work my full-time job, and then after that, it's working on my business. And so it was like 2 full-time jobs, and there was no balance in the sense that, you know, it was all work and no play. And I started to feel it in terms of, my life was just revolved around work. You need to have those times where you just hang out with your friends. You need to have those times where you can go out and, you know, have a laugh with your friends and your family. You know, as much as you want to build this business and build that life, you still also need to enjoy your life and don't let your life pass you by. So honestly, guys, as much as I'm all here for working hard, I think it's also important to work smart, but also balance is key. And I think just to end, it's important to always remember the vision. Remember the vision. Remember why you're doing this. Why are you running this business while you're working full time? If the goal, if the goal is just to work this 9 to 5 so that you can get that experience you need for your business, then make sure you're putting that work in so that you can get that experience. Make sure you're taking advantage of whatever courses they may have for you, or training opportunities, or opportunities to shadow certain members of staff, so that you get as much experience and knowledge as possible, so that you're not stuck there forever and you're able to leave and do your business full time. If the goal is for you to just use this to fund your business, make sure that you're saving, make sure you're keeping a track of your savings, make sure you're also pumping the money into the business, investing into the business, and making sure that the business is growing financially, so that you don't always have to rely on this job and you can rely on your business for paying your bills, and also for the business to sustain itself and fund itself. If the goal is for you to actually build a career within this 9 to 5 job, but you also want to run your business, then make sure you're also focusing on that and you're not neglecting this career that you're trying to build. So guys, always remember the goal, remember the vision, and make sure you're working towards it, so we don't just get stuck in, yes, I'm working a 9 to 5 and I'm running this business, and none of them is moving to wherever you want it to be. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I am going to get a few people to come in here to talk about how they manage their 9 to 5 job as well as their business. For a lot of people, it's working full time and running the business full time, and everyone has different experiences, different stories, different tips to share. So I will have them come on here and share. I also will have a few people come on here and share how they transition from working a 9 to 5 to actually running their business full time. So that can also help you if you want to make that transition, or when you want to make that transition. And so thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and see you in the next video.